Hey guys, it's Eric here at Farpoint Restorations. Hey, before I get into today's video, let me remind you I do have a new channel called Farpoint Mowers and More. If you like automotive related content, you like repair content, I do a lot of small equipment repairs there, mowers and blowers, ATVs, even a golf cart here or there. So I hope you'll check that channel out. Anyway, on to today's video. I am doing this video by request, I'll be honest with you. There are a lot of X431 launch products and it's causing confusion. A lot of people asking me, hey, can this tool do this? Can this tool do that? You know, I don't always know the answer, but I do have two tools here that get a lot of comments, and I wanted to make sure that you understand the differences between the two. And so what I want to do with y'all today is go through two of the most popular tools that Launch sells currently. That is their top of the line X431 Pro3S Plus Elite and the X431 Pro Elite. Big problems for this company. They really need to start changing the names of their product lines so that they may have more of a distinction between the two. These are vastly different tools, and I'm going to get into some, but not all, of the things that are different about them. So let me go ahead and get the camera closer up, and hopefully at the end of this video you'll have a slightly better understanding of what to expect out of the X431 Pro Elite and the X431 Pro 3S Plus Elite. Let's do it. All right, got both these fired up, and first off the gate here you can see screen size. This is a little bit smaller than this one. This is the absolute top tier, and this is the, well, you know, they call it middle of the road, but honestly this is a pro level tool in every sense of the word. So I wouldn't say that there's a whole lot of differences there, but let's go ahead and talk to you about the difference. The Pro 3S Plus Elite does have the option, and this is the biggest single difference, this is why I'm covering this first, of the J2534 programming. This is their version of the programming tool. You know what a J tool is if you're a professional mechanic. Well, this is what really sets this apart from this. It is the ability to do deep level programming. As you've seen in my videos, both of these will program keys. Both of these can activate and deactivate features and functions on your vehicle, and both of these have the ability to do like bi-directional controls, deep level stuff, not just in the engine and the compute, you know, the transmission, but in all systems. All right, I've killed the lights here just to see if you can see the screen better. I want to make sure you guys can see. Visually, they're very similar. The OS, if you call it that, is laid out the same. So if you're used to using one and you move up to another one, you'll definitely have it figured out before you even get it in the mail. Now this one here also has a neat feature that I haven't seen on a scan tool. You know, granted I don't pay much attention to it, but I had an old OTC Evo, here's a picture of it, and that was a great tool back in the 90s and up through the 2000s, but it's not been updated since 2015, so it's garbage. As a matter of fact, we got rid of ours. But what it does have is you can buy the software to do HD repairs, so heavy duty 18-wheelers, dump trucks, big stuff, right? And no scan tool that I've owned have I ever really looked into it. But it turns out this one is part of the update software, the mall that you can go into. You can actually update this thing so it runs on HD, so you could work on Mac and CAT and like all the big stuff, you know. And I assume anyway when you get that you can get the connectors for it, because I know they do have different connectors for the HD stuff. But so that's an option for you on that. I thought that was kind of a cool thing that it offers. Not too many shops like the one I'm working, you know, I work for myself and I do work in town as well. Did I ever work on an 18-wheeler at our shop? But it's nice if you work at a place that works on everything. Like I would think like a fleet garage, it would probably be a nice addition to have a tool like this where you could work on, say, school buses, but also county cars or private cars, stuff like that. Okay, so another big difference between these two, they both have intelligent diagnostics, which is it goes in there and you log in, it finds the car automatically. And that's a pretty cool thing. But this one also has remote diagnostics, and that is pretty fancy. I've never used it, thankfully. But the idea behind remote diag is you're sitting in your customer car, you're plugged in, you're reading live data, you have no idea what you're looking at, or something is not hitting you, it's just not coming across right. Well, this allows you to literally log in, find a tech somewhere in the world here who works for these people, and he will also, he or she, I guess, will also look at those live PIDs with you, look at live data, and help you with determining what is wrong with that particular vehicle and what the proper course of action is. So if you're flying solo like I do here at the house and you don't have other techs to rely on to be like, hey bud, have you ever seen this? Hey, could you give me a second set of eyes? You know, if you're just by yourself, a one-man show or a two-man show, and you're up against a real hard diagnosed problem, remote diagnostics is available on the Pro3S Plus where it isn't on the Elite. Probably the biggest difference you're going to see between these two visually once you get past this screen is when you get into diagnostics, the Pro3S Plus Elite has the topography, which is nice. I don't know. I grew up with topography. Volvo's Vita software had topography right out of the gate, so we're talking like 01, where scan tools really haven't started having that until like 16, 17, 18, something like that, and only on the higher end tools. To me, it doesn't really help much other than to kind of do a flow chart of, hey, we have a cascade effect. That it is available on the Pro3S Plus, and you can also go to conventional charts. So this one, whatever this shows, if you buy this tool and you've had it for like 5 years or whatever, you move up to their new line stuff with topography. Well, it's no big deal. If you don't get used to the topography, you can always switch back and forth, but it do have it. Honestly, like I said, though, the Pro Elite does just fine with what it has. I've never really noticed any need to have topography, but they throw that in there as well. I mean, you are paying a lot extra for that thing. All right, another thing between these two, because this has EV coverage, more in-depth EV coverage, and this one does not, when we get into special functions like service functions, this one's got about 37 of them in total. Not every car is obviously going to have that, where that one there has 50. That being said, unless you're messing with EVs, there isn't anything that I ever came across while working with this tool, and we've worked with it quite a bit, that we needed to reset or we needed to recalibrate or whatnot that wasn't available. So whatever's in here, the extra reset functions, I'm guessing it's for your EVs and it's for your exotics, like maybe some high-end European stuff that we're just not playing with here at least often enough to have needed it. Obviously, it's nice to have that stuff when you need it. EV is here to stay, as much as it's not ready for prime time, they're forcing it on us. And that means you as a tech, you're gonna be working on that stuff, man, whether you like it or not. We're not shying away from it. Mostly we're doing conventional repairs to the EVs we get through here, brakes, tires, that kind of stuff. And suspension work, obviously. But when it gets to motor rebuilds or whatever, we're not messing with that yet. But eventually it's gonna happen, guys. So you might want to consider that when looking at these tools. That do you want to have like future-proof scan tool, I guess, is where it comes down to. All right, so on this one here, vehicle coverage is going to be a little less than this because without the EV, we're looking at, slightly less of a pool of cars to work on. That being said, and it's almost comical, from what I read here, over 150 different brands here, or vehicles and brands, while this one's over 200. Now remember, in the United States anyway, I don't know about Europe, but in the United States, there's a lot of car brands that don't even exist here. Again, I've worked with Isuzu and Mitsubishi and Kia and Hyundai, and I mean, they even have Daihatsu coverage in this thing. So for every brand that I could think of here in the United States that I have ever worked on that had any way of hooking to a computer, this had that coverage. Now this one is going to probably include far more of the smaller Eastern European and European manufacturers. And I say small, I think Renault as a small company because that's how small a company they were here. But now, they're a massive company. And Fiat came and failed here, but Fiat is a huge company. Let's just talk about Stellantis in general overseas. Plus, you have hundreds, well, I don't know about hundreds, but you have dozens of Chinese manufacturers now who are producing some pretty impressive vehicles. A lot of them are EV vehicles. So far, they haven't hit the shores of America, but that is just a matter of time. And I think that is something that we better keep our eyes out for. Honestly, I'm looking forward to having Chinese cars here. If they can sell me a car for less than $12,000, which is what an average car ought to be selling for these days because they're all garbage, then that is something that I am going to jump on board with. Y'all follow the channel, I got a Mitsubishi Mirage I don't need fancy. Look, man, I know who I am. I know what I am. I don't care about having a Bentley or anything. I want to have a car that I never need to work on. I'm a mechanic. I don't have time to work on my own stuff. The Mirage is probably the most reliable car out on the market right now, and unfortunately they canceled it as of 2025. The Versa is kind of junk, but it's in the same lines, and they're canceling that after 2025. So I'm ready for those subcompact Chinese cars. The thing is, from what I've seen, they're not sending us the subcompacts. I mean, these Chinese companies are making some really nice, luxurious cars. We think of it like, I remember reading about Geely and stuff like that when back, man, this is in like 2005 when they first started talking about bringing them here and they couldn't pass crash tests. But some of the pictures I've seen of some of these Chinese manufacturers' cars, we need to be afraid if we're interested in keeping American cars on the road, because these things are going to destroy us when they get here. Anyway, that's my side rant. I guess another big thing to point out here, and it's getting to be less and less of a thing, but this tool comes with your standard OBD2 Bluetooth dongle, right? Or I'm sorry, corded dongle, 16 pin. You're not going to be able to hook up OBD1 connectors to this, where this one comes with every non-standard connector you can think of. Old GM 12 pin, Ford stuff. There's some Dodge Chrysler, like those 3 or 4 pin, whatever those things were. The Half Moons from Toyota, Lexus, you name it. It comes with that 16 pin kit or whatever it is, that I can't remember how many are in there. There's got to be at least a dozen. And of course, 20 years ago, I'd have been dancing in the streets over that. But these days, that's just not as necessary. However, if you like working with cars that are pre-96, and I definitely like working on cars that are pre-96, well, then you can definitely get yourself plugged into those computers and get access to some. Sometimes you can get into access to all the data. Most of the time, though, you're still going to get into some of the data. A lot of those cars are still cranky with age. Okay, so this last part here that I would say is important between these two is, while this is a totally awesome tool by itself and will work great for about 95% of any kind of work you're doing on cars at your shop, like this is an A-level tech tool. This is like an A+ level tech tool. This is for the guy that just wants to spend more money and get every doodad. And it does have every doodad. There's all these add-ons you can buy for this that aren't available for this. TPMS add-on, ADOS add-on, there's a scope box, there's a sensor box, there's a video scope, there's a battery tester, there's a multimeter, there's a current clamp adapter. Obviously, you can get into deep level key programming with immobilizer programming. You can do regular key programmer. I'm not even sure what the ES200 installation is, but it has to be something for electric cars. So there's a bunch of modules. You can go on Launch's page and check them out. I'm considering getting a scope and a TPMS thing. I have a separate TPMS tool, but it'd be easier just to have it all working with one. So I'm looking at getting the a scope box and probably the TPMS sensor, maybe the battery tester, although I have those separate as well. So that's pretty cool. All right, I guess the last thing I'll talk to you about is updates. And before I talk to you about, like, both, this one is 2 years free updates. This one is 2 years free updates. There are some additions you can buy in the mall. Usually it's electric car stuff or exotics. Let's see what it comes up with here. So service renewals, you can get it, by the month or whatever. I'm looking at software. I want to just show what kind of stuff you can get here. McLaren is one. I mean, these are all Chinese or out of the area stuff here, as you see. So there are some things you can buy, but honestly, for the money you get for the 2 years free, you've got everything you want. This is, and it's the same thing with the other tool here. They're both about that price. Now, if you want to update these tools after the 2 years, and let me say this first, because I get this one probably more than anything. Yes, both these tools work after the subscription expires. I keep getting that comment on every scan tool video I can think of. And believe me, if there was a scan tool that I looked at that did not work if you did not renew it, well, I wouldn't be reviewing it on the channel, that's for sure. I wouldn't be using it either. I'd be throwing the thing in the trash. When it expires, everything works. When it expires, everything works. You just can't do updates. You can't do downloads. So if you're trying to do downloads for the J tool, that's not going to happen. But for this one here and this one here, for the 95% of the daily work you're going to do, these tools can go years without getting updated. And I have the X431 Pro3S regular, and that's this one is the upgrade to that. I'm getting ready to get rid of that one. It hasn't had an update in 2 years. I still use it about every day, honestly. So there you go. Now, when you want to renew them, there are some price differences here. If you go through the mall, the price for these things are going to be a little bit more expensive. Sometimes you can get them cheaper. So this one, that it doesn't have all the features and functions, right? After 2 years, this is going to be $199 a year to upgrade. That's not terrible, but again, you can poke around on King Bolin's website, you can poke around on the internet, and a lot of times you can find 2-year subscriptions for these things cheaper. This one's going to hurt. This one is $499 a year when it expires. That's not a small amount of money, but it's also because it offers all the EV stuff, all that extra stuff. So we have these extra testers, we have these extra functions, we have the extra cars in there. And like anything, you know, they got to pay to have access to that manufacturer's information. Well, I guess that's it. Man, I don't know. I wanted to make this video, but now that I'm making the video, I'm not sure that I wanted to make this video. It's just so hard to point out the differences, you know, without sounding like some kind of infomercial or something like that. But so many people ask me so many questions about all these tools. And it would be so much easier if a launch would just change the names of these tools. Elite Pro, come on. Like what? Pro Elite, right? They're both the same thing. You're gonna add 3 letters in there and say, no, this should be like the Optimus and this should be the Prime. Who knows? Something totally different that people can understand. That being said, that's another rant for me right there. They're both awesome tools. I hope that people understand the biggest things, the takeaways here, and that is that they both do about 95% of what you're going to need to do. This one does 100% of the things you're going to need to do because it has JTool programming, and with the added modules, you can literally scope out stuff. You can do anything, work on EVs, whatever. So they're both A-Tech tools. Both tools, and I say this again, both tools will work once the subscription expires. Both will do key programming. This one will do a mobilizer, deeper stuff where you have to program the key in the module. You can get a module and it'll do all that stuff. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video and I will see you next time. Take care.